Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Mayhem live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is your own MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Guys, we're just going to dive right on in. We started off with NXT from the Capitol Wrestling Center, formerly the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. And we started it off with a Falls Count Anywhere match. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Leon Ruff. And when it was all said and done, it was Isaiah Swerve Scott winning the match in 15 minutes and 20 seconds. A great opener. High intensity, high stakes. The rivalry really went all over the place. Very creative moves, even with the weaponry that they did in the match. This was a solid 3.5 stars for me. Great way to start the show with a fast, intense, high-flying Be a Man fight. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, this match had it all. Swerve and Ruff have always delivered, and this was their strongest match together. With plenty of time and tons of storytelling behind the action, Ruff fought from underneath to nearly take the victory. Either man could have won, but their egos got in the way. What decided the result was Swerve's support. After a couple of months of teasing, it looks like his club vignettes have helped him to form a new stable to protect him. While Scott has the personality of a main event act, his size could hold him back as a villain in NXT. This stable should be the difference to finally get him the gold. And you noticed one of those guys is a gentleman that you see on as part of that awesome new show on A&E called WWE's Lost Treasures. AJ Francis. You've seen that young man. He drives the superstars around as they look to find the artifacts and all that. And I enjoy watching that young man on the Lost Treasures show. And it's a fun show. I mean, you gotta check it out. Sunday nights at 10:00, following those biographies. I mean, they're fun to watch, and I've seen them all, and they're great shows. So that's who that AJ Francis guy is. I don't know who the other two folks are, but I know we'll find out soon enough. But for right now, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Great way to jump off last night's NXT show. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Phenom. Great way to start it off. And how about AJ Francis from Lost Treasures getting involved at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think that was going to happen, but it did, and I'm interested to see what happens with this group that's with Isaiah Swerve Scott. I mean, could this ultimately elevate his villainous status and get him to where he hopes to get? Well, we'll only have to wait and find out as this goes on. But other than that, 3.5 to 3 3/4. I mean, this was definitely a great way to start it off. I mean, like you said, it had everything. I mean, they used everything in this match. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say or add to it. And now the only question is, where these two go from here? Only time will tell. Fletch, it's yours.
Next up we have is Cameron Grimes versus Asher Hale. Cameron Grimes wins the match in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We're not gonna dive right into that. We're gonna leave that one alone. Then the next thing that we had, this one we definitely need to get into. Grizzled Young Veterans versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. When it was all said and done, Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher wins the match. Unfortunately, I don't have a time, guys. I don't know why, but ProWrestling.net did not give me a title on this one. I'm kind of guessing somewhere between 7 and 10 minutes is my guess on it. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Oh no, it was definitely a lot longer than 7 to 10 minutes. There is no doubt about that. But yes, we talked about this. I mean, we had a feeling this was going to be a man fight, and damn it to hell it was. And it was absolutely amazing. And time of the fall, 14 minutes and 27 seconds. And while this match lacked some drama, it made up for that with pure physical fun. The two teams wailed on each other, shifting the power struggle again and again. What ultimately made the difference, surprisingly, was that Ciampa and Thatcher were willing to cheat sooner than GYV. I think this match should be revisited again with larger stakes. The finish made sense for the opening act of the rivalry. Let these teams build more story before one team goes after the NXT Tag Team Championships. I'm going to give this a solid 3.25 stars for the effort. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, if you like Be a Man fights, this was definitely one for you.
Yeah, this was definitely a Be a Man fight here. What did you give it, Florio?
I gave it between 3.25 to 3.5. I don't know about you.
I'll give it an even 3.5 here. I mean, this was, like you said, a Be a Man fight, and yeah, I mean, who would have thunk that we would see Ciampa and Thatcher were the first ones to cheat before the Grizzled Young Veterans did. So maybe I think we'll get another match between these two, and maybe this is where we'll decide who's going to be next in line to challenge for the NXT Tag Team Championship. So yeah, there's really nothing more to add to it. So Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna give this a solid three and a quarter. This was a very good match. This was a solid fight. Could have been a little better in certain areas, but I'm not gonna complain too much about it. I just thought it was a solid match, more than anything else. Right after that situation, well, I think we need to get into this. It was Karrion Kross making cutting a promo. Of course, Scarlett Bordeaux was with them. And the next thing we know, we had a whole bunch of guys who wanted an opportunity at the title. Kyle O'Reilly cut a promo, then was interrupted by Pete Dunne, interrupted by Finn Balor, and a brawl breaks out. So the 3 men start going the 4 men start going at it. And after that, the Way hit the ring, and they went after Karrion Kross. Now, here's the reason why the Way got in there. Because earlier in the night, Scarlett Bordeaux was having a conversation with Mr. William Regal. Johnny Gargano picking up, trying to yell at Regal about, you know what? I shouldn't defend the NXT title, North American Championship. So he was trying to weasel his way out. But Regal's like, I'm busy. I don't want nothing to do with this. So he's like, I'm busy right now. I'm with Scarlett. I'm not going to do anything. Austin Theory. Okay. Austin Theory was admiring the fingernails, the daggers of Scarlett Bordeaux. I think she was thinking something different. I think some of the fans were thinking, whoa, don't go there. But he was admiring the hands, admiring the fingers. Well, either or, it creeped her out so much that next week on NXT, Austin Theory is going to go one-on-one against the NXT champion, Karrion Kross. But they got a leg up on Kross and actually beat him down. 2-on-1 beat down. They slayed the dragon for the night, which was shocking in itself. But, Michael Bullock, with Karrion Kross, there's a certain line you just don't go. And the Way decided, screw that. We're going after you. We want to make a statement. Message sent. But the rebuttal might be even worse for Austin Theory.
Yeah, and Fletch, what was the old saying that Gorilla Monsoon used to say back in the old days?
Which is?
Well, it's something I've always said. Don't start something that you can't finish.
Yep.
That's what he always used to say.
Yep.
Austin Theory, you may have started something you may not be able to finish. And may God have mercy on your soul, because Karrion Kross, I guarantee you, is not going to show any mercy on you. And you know what? If Mr. Johnny Gargano wants to stick his nose where it doesn't belong, I'm sure Karrion Kross will take care of him as well. Just some food for thought there. But yeah, I mean, before what the Way did, yeah, you had three guys who are making a case why they want a shot at the title. I mean, you obviously you got the former champion, but you also got guys like Pete Dunne and Kyle O'Reilly who want a shot. And if I'm going to be quite honest, guys, and I don't know how you guys feel, I think Kyle O'Reilly should be the first in line. I mean, because remember I think it was about a week or two ago when Kyle O'Reilly had a singles match. Who did he run into in the back?
Kross.
It was the champion. If that doesn't show that he's going to be first in line for a shot at the title, I don't know what the hell will. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but yeah, this was definitely a crazy segment here. So Fletch, as I give it to you, I say Kyle O'Reilly deserves the shot. What says you?
I agree. I think O'Reilly definitely deserves a shot, but then again, you can make an argument for Balor because Balor's the former champion. Balor definitely could get a shot at this. I know a lot of people says that Dunn is the odd man out on this, and unfortunately for now, he is the odd man out. But he could easily make an argument to be the next in line for the NXT title. I mean, look, he was one of the longest reigning UK champions before Walter smashed that record in the smithereens. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. You kind of have these situations where it can go a number of ways, but O'Reilly definitely should be the first guy. The second guy would probably be Balor, and then if they get to buy them two, then yeah, I think Pete Dunne deserves an opportunity at the title. I mean, these are three guys who are very valuable. You could see maybe a fatal four-way here, but first, Karrion Kross has got to deal with Austin Theory. Theory stirred the hornet's nest, and the thing was, look, he's a sad little puppy dog. He didn't know what he was thinking. He didn't know what he was doing. He saw the smoke show, got smitten by her, but did it in such a creepy way that, yeah, that's where the mistake happened. You did it in a way, it wasn't subtle. You were being a creep, and you got what you're going to get what's coming to you when you start to do that. So no. That's where Austin Theory was wrong. And then for the fact that Johnny Gargano had the cojones to jump Karrion Kross, boys, you're both going to get your butt kicked on this one. You better fall and pray wicked hard, to say the very least. There's really nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
The only thing there is left to say here is I have to do some nitpicking here. I'm sorry. But it's just part of my Jesse character here. This was a messy segment that accomplished little for anyone involved. Balor made his return, but looked out of his depth against Karrion Kross. The champion then laid out Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne, as well as a Gestapo security guard. This could have put over the champion. Instead, Johnny Gargano arrived to take that spotlight. He is the NXT North American champion and should be focusing on Bronson Reed. Instead, he has added another rivalry to his unfinished pile of feuds. So, yeah, the title picture is a complete mess right now. I mean, they need to have some sort of match or something to determine this. Maybe a triple threat match with O'Reilly, Balor, and Dunn. You do that. That's a show stealer right there. So, yeah, that's what I meant, Bullock. It was a good segment, but not overly great. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like what I always say: solid but unspectacular. How about that? So I'll just leave it at that. So, but the title picture is in a complete disarray right now, and hopefully something will be done about it, and we can have a clear number one contender here. Or unless you want to put them all in a four-way, I'm down with that too. So, not much more to say. Solid but unspectacular. MF, let's just move on.
Next up, we had was Saray going up against Zeta Reimer. And Saray wins the match in 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Fun little sprint. Nice little showcase for both women. Look, Saray, highly coveted, highly publicized NXT debut, had a fight with Zoe Stark and won that match. And Xena, coming off of a massive upset over Toni Storm. So this was a good matchup. Two young talents in NXT, and that was exactly what we got. So, Anthony Floyo, I could give this this is what I call a fun little sprint more than anything else. That's something that's kind of the staple for all of us on this show. Fun little sprint, at least 2.5 to, I want to say 2 3/4.
More 2.5. I mean, WWE made a big deal out of Ramirez's win against Toni Storm, and she got more offense in this contest. However, the result was never in question. This was an extended squash in which the Warrior of the Sun made more impact with every move. This works because Saray is still new and needs to build up victories. Ramirez will continue to be the underdog, learning from her opponents. She and Saray did not need much chemistry for this to do what it needed to do, although the Warrior of the Sun was impressive. 2.5 stars, fun little sprint. Michael Bullock, I'm sure you'll agree with me on that.
Oh, this one I'll agree with you on that. I mean, yeah, 2.5 stars. It was a fun little sprint. I mean, yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was short, but in the amount of time it got, I thought it was an enjoyable match. And you know, I mean, as I was watching this, part of me was thinking Toni Storm was going to stick her nose in this because of losing last week, but no, they kept her out of it because I guess Toni Storm's more focused on Zoe Stark. So yeah, so that's all I got to say on it. Fletch, it is yours.
All right, guys. So right after that, we had ourselves, well, another short match. I'm not going to go into this. LA Knight versus Jake Atlas. LA Knight wins in 3:05. This we got to get into, though. Basically, it was Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza. They were all in the ring. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on. So we had Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. They have now openly challenged MSK for the tag team titles, but then Kushida on video basically challenges Santos Escobar for a NXT Cruiserweight Championship of the World match next week on NXT. Anthony Florio, oh my goodness, the rematch, title on the line, Escobar, Kushida, the Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go indeed. I mean, I'm jacked. I mean, if you thought that the previous match was something, this is going to be even better, I think. Let's see. This pair of Rush segments served their purpose. Well, the first half of this pair of Rush segments served their purpose. Legado del Fantasma earned their title matches to come with the win in the 6-man last week. Kushida showed why he can be a great champion by challenging Escobar with fire. That rematch can and will be special. So I'm just going to leave it at that. So, Michael Bullock, Kushida, Escobar, the return match. How about it?
Oh man, I cannot wait for that to go down. I mean, who knows? I mean, this could be better from the previous encounter that these two had, but Kushida has shown why he is a fighting champion, that he was willing to challenge Santos Escobar before Escobar could challenge him for a rematch. But yeah, with the other members, Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza show that they want to be the next in line to get a shot at the tag team champions, because, like you said, they went over in that 6-man. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. But Kushida and Santos Escobar, all I can say is Tuesday night can't get here fast enough, boys. I cannot wait for this. So, Fletch, it is yours.
That's going to be one hell of a title fight. That's going to be one hell of a match. There's really nothing more to add. That other part that Anthony was talking about was that there was a promo segment after that where we had the two challengers, the two competitors for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Mercedes Martinez. We had Raquel Gonzalez. Mike Bullock. Nice fire by both ladies. Are you excited for the NXT Women's title match next week as well?
You better believe it, I am, Fletch, for this one. I mean, these two certainly didn't hold back, and Raquel Gonzalez wants to prove why she is worthy of that title, while Mercedes Martinez wants to prove why she is worthy of being the champion, and wants to prove that Raquel Gonzalez is a paper champion. But I'm here to tell that to Mercedes, Raquel Gonzalez ain't no paper champion, and she's going to prove that to you next week. Especially after what she did to Mercedes Martinez last week. So, boy, Mercedes, all I can say is you better bring your A game, because you know Raquel Gonzalez is going to bring hers. Ain't that right, Fletch?
It's going to be one heck of a match. This is going to be a good championship battle. Look, Mercedes is without a doubt probably one. Mercedes has a lot of gusto and everything else. Raquel, man, this is going to be a challenge, man. When this title happened, when the moment happened, when we crowned that new champion about a month, less than a month ago, we were wondering who on earth was gonna be the one to knock off the champion. And Raquel Gonzalez is coming up, and she's like, I'm the one that can do it. They're evenly matched. Strength, power, size. It's almost a coin flip on who walks out of here the NXT Women's Champion. There is no one to the other. The real wild card in this fight is Dakota Kai. Dakota will be a difference maker of either we're walking out of here with still or and new at when this thing is over next week. So, Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. Gonzalez versus Martinez has only begun to develop. Next week's match should not be their sole encounter, but it is surprising that it is happening so soon. NXT brought up Martinez's history traveling the world. It would be nice for the Black and Gold brand to actually sit down with Martinez and establish that legacy for the fans. But both of these Rush segments served their purpose all the way around. We had 2 big title matches last night. We're getting 2 more big title matches this upcoming week. And both have potential to be very exciting and special. So not much more to say here. MF, let's get on to the main event of the evening.
Well, before we get to the main event of the evening.
Oh, we got another piece of business. That's right.
Well, right before the match, Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon, they were making their way to, backstage, getting ready for their match. And they kind of got, I think it was was more Shotzi than Ember. Shotzi fell in love because Frankie Monet's little puppy, or Palminarian, I think is what they call it. So its little guy was chilling by the tank, and basically, so Shotzi fell in love with this thing immediately. So she was
just like I would.
Yeah, she fell in love with the dog really quick, and then and once she whisked the little guy away, Ember's like, Shotzi, you're not gonna like that dog anymore.
And I'll tell you why. I'm gonna put I'm gonna add some fun to this show here. That dog simply did one little thing. You know what that thing was? That dog took a mook.
Yeah, it basically did a Poughkeepsie on the tank. And let me tell you, I was laughing so hard. I was like, yes! You know what? I knew I was going to love that dog.
Well, I guess we could say that was full of crap, huh?
Oh my God, I was waiting for it. Oh, Bullock. That was a shit show. That was a shit show.
Bullock is full of laughs this week. I mean, MF, you should have heard him on our Raw chat the other night. We were having, we were doing our little Mookie stinks like we usually do. But what did we do? We channeled our inner Beavis and Butthead, if you can believe that.
Oh my God.
And he does it good. He does it good.
Hey, I believe not here, guys. Not here tonight. Not tonight. We'll say that for behind the scenes. We'll say that for behind the scenes.
Let's get to the main event.
Yeah, main event was the way Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae versus Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Tag team titles on the line in a street fight. Winners of the bout in 1534 and new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, The Way. Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, they win the titles. Great main event. Crazy fight all over the place. This was as good as it could have gotten, man, and there's really no outcome that could have been any more better than this. Crowning of new champions, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. You could even make an argument for 4. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
What was the time of the fall?
1534.
1534. All right. This was the fight of the night for me. I'm going to give this between 4 and 4.25 stars. This was a brutal contest. All 4 women just wanted to do something memorable, and they all did just that. With limited time, they were not going to waste much selling. It was spot after spot, progressively growing wilder along the way. Shotzi Blackheart especially went all out with a few terrifying spots that could have done badly. Luckily, she landed them clean and kept fighting. While all 4 women would be sore the next day, it didn't look like anyone got seriously injured. Candice LeRae has finally won an NXT championship, and it's about damn time. While she and Indy Hartwell are still a developing tag team, this is a great moment for one of the premier veterans of NXT. She should at least get a few months with the gold, unless she inherits the Gargano curse from her husband. But nonetheless, this was the fight of the night. 4 to 4.25 stars. And Michael Bullock, to paraquote good old MF and the late great Gorilla Monsoon, history was made at the CWC last night. Candice LeRae finally wins a title. About damn time.
And you stole my thunder there, Florio. I was just about to say the same thing. I mean, Candice LeRae, she finally gets her moment. She finally gets some gold that she should have had a while ago. But you know what? As the old saying goes, better late than never. So yeah, 4 stars. This was definitely the fight of the night. All 4 of these women I thought were great. Especially with all the spots they had. Yeah, these 4 women, they're going to be sore in the morning, but they know it was worth it with what they did last night. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get on to our overall thoughts.
Floyer, you lead off.
8 out of 10 for me. Very good show as always. I mean, what else is there to say? Let me try to find my. All right. The opener and main event were both very good. Stuff was announced for later. And the two not so great matches were about 3 minutes long each. This is where NXT tends to shine, building up a lot of different stuff, almost like a buffet, rather than one big main course and hoping that's enough. Nothing stands out above the rest, but it makes for a better show with a solid average throughout rather than being so up or down. Rather effective effort here as they use the tried and true NXT formula tonight. The main event delivered. The opener was great. And of course, that tag team Be a Man fight with GYV, Ciampa, and Thatcher. So 3 great matches, a couple of not so good, but they were fun little sprints. So 8 out of 10 for me, no doubt about it. So Michael Bullock, both big main events delivered, and you got 2 huge championship matches next week.
Yeah, to me, this was an 8 out of 10 as well. I mean, yeah, a lot of good matches. Yeah, you had some short matches, which, I mean, one of them was a fun little sprint. The others were not so great, but yeah, this was definitely a good show, and definitely looking forward to those matches, those 2 chip matches next week. So we'll wait and see how all that goes. So that's all I can say. Fletch, put a wrap on it, and then we get to blood and guts.
Yeah, this was it was as good. Well, NXT was as good as it gets. 8 out of 10, no doubt about it. So we're just gonna dive right on into to AEW. Started it off with a tag team match. Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa as they team up against Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Winners of the bout in 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Moxley and Kingston wins the match. Good solid opener, good fight. I could give this about 3 stars. And then, of course, the post-fight, I guess you can call it the Elite showed up and beat down Omega, beat down Eddie Kingston. This is getting a little tiring now. I mean, why? I mean, look, I know you're trying to make the AEW champion strong, but he doesn't need that. Well, I mean, that beatdown was pointless. There's no need for it. I mean, that's Florio, it's yours.
Well, we know who the mastermind behind that was, that fountain of misinformation, Don Callis. So that's all there is to say there. Anyways, 2.5 to 3 for the effort. This was all about further establishing Kenny Omega as a cowardly heel. He evaded as much contact with Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston when they were on the offensive as possible, walked out on his own partner, then returned just in time to partake in a 6-on-2 beatdown of the babyfaces. How damn convenient. From a character development standpoint, it was fine enough. We have known Omega as the cowardly heel, relying on the numbers game. It has been something AEW has been insistent upon presenting for the last few months. Had this furthered things at all, it would have been rated better. But 2.5 to 3, I'll give you that. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, that fountain of misinformation, and your boy, Don Callis, they were at it again, unfortunately.
Please, I can't stand that piece of you-know-what, Don Callis. I mean, I was liking him at the beginning, but now, I hate to say it, guys, he's beginning to be annoying and beyond the point of go away, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know where you guys stand on it, but that's just how I feel. What did you give it, Florio, for this match?
2.5 to 3.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 is my rating. I mean, it was a good match, a good way to start off this AEW Dynamite edition of Blood and Guts. But Yeah, yeah, I'm with Fletch on that as well. So I'm not gonna rehash what he said. And before that, Fletch, all I can say it's good to hear you pronounce that Kenny Omega's partner's name again. I mean, as soon as I heard,
It's been a long time since I've done it.
yeah, as soon as I heard who Kenny Omega's partner was, I'm like, oh boy, I cannot wait to hear Fletch mention his name again. And the way he does it, it's the way you do it, Fletch, is so entertaining as far as I'm concerned. So
Thank you.
I just give it to you.
Well, you're one of the few that actually appreciates it. So no, it's thank you. Right after that, we did have QT Marshall versus Cody Rhodes. Cody wins the match in 12 minutes and 19 seconds. Anthony, measure of revenge for Cody because of all the stuff that's been going on between the Nightmare Factory and QT Marshall's crew, but also at the end, Cody ended up getting jumped himself.
Indeed. 3.25 stars to 3.5. If the goal is for Cody Rhodes to continue feuding with the Factory, as the post-match with Anthony Ogogo would suggest, why sacrifice QT Marshall here instead of building a higher profile bout between them at a later time? Booking Rhodes against the young stars of the Factory feels like something you do to make him earn his way to Marshall. Instead, he beat the leader right out of the gate. Assuming Ogogo is up next, the promising Brit will benefit exponentially from working with Rhodes. What was a perfectly acceptable match between Rhodes and Marshall was helped from a rating standpoint by the angle that followed involving Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and Darby Allin. The heel tandem associates, by way of their shared goals, continued their warpath and left Allin in a heap. It remains to be seen which one will challenge Allin first, but the smart money is on Scorpio Sky, possibly dethroning the face-painted anti-hero rather, when the time comes. But that might not happen. Because we got a huge TNT Championship match in store for next week for Darby Allin. And all I can say is it's going to be literally his toughest challenge to date. Spoiler alert. I'm just going to leave it there. So I'll park it there. 3.25, 3.5 for the effort here. So not much more to say. Bullock, I mean, what do you make of all that? I mean, and Darby Allin gets thrown down, damn near throw down the stairs, just like Mick Foley did in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and the way he got thrown down, I was like, damn, the man. I mean, I thought the man was dead after that. I mean, holy freaking crap on that. But anywho, 3.25 stars on the Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall match. I thought it was a solid match. I mean, yeah, it looks like Cody is not done with the Factory because Anthony Ogogo is looks like he's got a little bone to pick with Cody. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, I know that about it. 3.25. You can say whatever you want to say. This was a good match. Nothing more to say there. Next up we had was Julia Hart versus Dr. Britt Baker. Britt Baker wins the match in a minute 29. We're not even going to get into that. But there was one thing that needed to be addressed. Hikaru Shida will defend the AEW Women's title on the line against Dr. Britt Baker at Double or Nothing. Confirmed.
With full capacity, by the way.
Yes, with full capacity, by the way. Yes. So then the next up we had was a fatal four-way. The winners would get a shot at the AEW World Tag Team titles down the line. It was SCU, Jurassic Express, The Acclaim, and the Varsity Blondes. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 9 minutes and 12 seconds and earning an AEW World Tag Team title shot next week, SCU. They win the match. We'll lead it off on this. Is it Mike Bullock? Bullock, is it yours?
Yeah, it's actually me.
All right, man, it's yours.
All right, and what was the time of the fall, Fletch?
9:12.
All right, 3.25 is my rating on the match here. I mean, yeah, I thought the match was solid for what it was with the guys they had here, and yeah, SCU now gets the opportunity at the NXT Tag Team Champion. I mean, not the AEW Tag Team titles, and I think that's going to happen next week. Fletch, am I correct on that?
Yes, it is.
And here's a little twist that's been added to it. If SCU doesn't defeat the Young Bucks next week, they will disband. That's what's going to happen. So
Well, no,
it,
Mike Bullock, that's actually been going on for a little while. That 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 decree has been laid out for a while now. That's been for about the last couple of months. They just been following that on AEW Dark and on AEW Elevation, but that I knew about that clause.
oh, so well, this is the first time I know about it because
Yeah.
yeah, so that's actually what's going to happen. So basically, it's either win or well, SCU is no more. So we'll wait and see what happens. Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, this was a fun match. This was a solid fight. I'm glad SCU is finally getting the opportunities. They have been ranked the number one tag team in AEW for a while now. And for them to get the opportunity at the Young Bucks for the titles, I mean, this is the right thing to do. This is the match that everybody wants to see. And this is the moment that we've been waiting for. Now, I'm really concerned that SCU is going to lose because for some odd reason, I feel like they're going to give the Bucks the moment and they're going to give them the victory here. So for me, I think it's going to be the Young Bucks winning, and I think Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are going to break up. That's the one fear that I have. I want to see SCU win. I want to see them win the titles. I just don't know if they're going to do it or not. That's the big question now. But this was a solid match. About 3 stars. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. This was definitely hurt by time constraints as there was no real rhyme, reason, or flow to it. It was a bunch of super talented wrestlers hitting spot after spot before the inevitable victory by SCU. Yeah, I love when they do. I love that little entrance song there. Anyways, Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian vowed to break up after their next loss, setting the stage for a highly emotional match between them and the Bucks. It will be a hugely significant match and one that brings an end to SCU while further establishing the current champions as the irreverent, mocking, and insufferable heels. Unfortunately, SCU didn't have the opportunity to win the title match in a better match than this. But nonetheless, solid 3 stars for the effort, maybe 3.25 at best. So, unfortunately, next week it's going to be the last time for all of us. I'm with you, MF. I would love to see Daniels and Kazarian because, I mean, MF, you and I, better than anybody, we know the history of Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian dating back to, TNA.
Yeah.
So, when they were Bad Influence, and of course, both were members of Fortune, and, two of the hearts and souls of TNA, they were 2 of the building blocks of that company. Everybody knows it back when they started. So long history, but I think that long history is unfortunately going to come to an end. I mean, if they were to give them the titles, I mean, that would be awesome, but I really don't see that happening. So for one final time, next week, folks, I hate to say it, it's going to be the last time that you're going to hear that iconic SCU. I love when they do that. MF, I mean, well, actually, there is there is a couple of pieces of business here. 2 huge announcements before we got to our epic, huge main event tonight.
Yeah, the first epic announcement that we got into I mean, we're going to talk about it. Well, obviously, we had was it was going to be an eliminator match. So it was Pac versus Orange Cassidy, and the winner will get to challenge Kenny Omega for the AEW World Title at Double or Nothing. That's one match. Then we also found out that next week, the best man Miro is supposedly gonna go up against Darby Allin. Now, here's the thing. Darby Allin has not defended the title, and if he does not defend the title next week, that's the 30-day limit. A forfeiture of the title happens, the belt becomes vacated. So, Darby must fight next week. My goodness. Guys, you want to give a quick thought on those two matches?
I'll take that for a spin. In one promo, Kenny Omega managed to make fans want to see both a match with Pac and more so a showdown with Orange Cassidy. He was great as he built up the Pac match before completely disrespecting Cassidy, looking past him as a valid challenger to his World Heavyweight title. Miro being this wrecking ball of a competitor while also taking advantage of a beaten down Darby Allin is a great bit of business and adds yet another can't-miss title match to next week's show, which already features Jon Moxley versus Yuji Nagata for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship, MF. I mean, and I know that's going to be the match that MF's going to have the most vested interest in. There's no question about that because of the New Japan thing. So, but man, that's a triple main event. I mean, all three of those matches are all going to deliver in one aspect or another. I wouldn't be surprised if they all over-deliver. I wouldn't be. So, but very exciting stuff to say the very least. So Bullock, I mean, Pac, Orange Cassidy, winner gets Omega for the World Heavyweight title at Double or Nothing. And on top of that, Miro, alias Rusev, is going to challenge Darby Allin. And that's why I said for Darby Allin, this will be, without a doubt, his toughest challenge to date. And I would not be surprised if he lost the belt next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. I mean, because it seems like they're really pushing Miro now, and especially now that they finally broke him away from Kip Sabian. Now he's going to get that opportunity at the TNT title, and I would not be surprised if Miro comes out with the championship. But yeah, Pac and Orange Cassidy to see who will face Kenny Omega for the AEW World title at Double or Nothing. Yeah, I mean, I know not a lot of people are giving Orange Cassidy a chance, but he's overcome a lot of things. So, I mean, don't sleep on him, and Kenny Omega shouldn't sleep on him too if he ends up being his opponent, because it could come back and bite him. But I think the match everybody wants to see is Pac and Kenny Omega. So wait and see how it all goes, and especially with that IWGP title on the line next week, which I think could definitely steal the damn show. So there's really nothing more to say. I'm just going to give it to you, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was good. It was solid. It's definitely going to be exciting, but this was exciting. The main event, guys, you wanted it. We got it. Inner Circle, the Pinnacle, blood and guts. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 33 minutes and 58 seconds, the Pinnacle wins. Blood and guts. Sammy Guevara basically surrendered at the end, gave it up. What a match. What a war. What a fight. There's some people that's criticizing this fight. Some people called it a failure. Some people said that, for Blood and Guts, this was nothing more than a glorified War Games. That, you made all this hype for this match and it didn't deliver. Okay, that's one way to put it, but I thought it was a solid match. I thought it was an incredible battle. I give this easily 4.5 to 4 3/4. I don't think it gets the 5-star rating. There was some elements where it was a little slow in certain areas. The one thing I was afraid of did happen, the breaks along the way. Look, I really got nothing more to add here. I mean, it was good. It was solid. I liked it. Blood and Guts is definitely it was a sight to see. It was excellent. The match was great. I mean, it was a brutal match. Violence is the name of the game, but I mean, okay, it could have been a lot better. It could have been better in certain areas, but I mean, it was a good overall battle. But 4.5 to 4 3/4. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, it's a little of both here. There was a lot to love about this match. The blood, the physical intensity, and the way the match built as it went on were all positives. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler absolutely stole the show. Two old school throwbacks who knew exactly how to sell and when to bump to maximum effect. They were my MVPs of this bout. Sammy Guevara was great and is destined to be the most beloved babyface in AEW one day. His guts, attitude, and in-ring fearlessness will appeal to audiences in the same way Eddie Guerrero's did a generation earlier. Kudos to Jake Hager and Wardlow for pulling off a hell of a hoss fight. Built to from the moment they first shared the screen months ago. They were great throwing hands and running over each other. All right. For all the good, there were issues with the match for sure. With 15 minutes of airtime left, it became abundantly clear they needed to kill time. The finish didn't help matters. MJF could have beaten Jericho by low-blowing him and hitting him with the Dynamite Diamond Ring and won the match in a way that would not have protected Inner Circle and led to more battles between the teams. While the finish we got helped establish the team's love for Jericho, it felt anticlimactic in a match that absolutely deserved an explosive finish. That Jericho's bump was exposed the moment the diamond plating was revealed to be particle board and a crash pad laid beneath. It would have been more forgivable had we not just seen Darby Allin take an unprotected fall down a flight of stairs and nearly break his damn arm just an hour earlier. There were far more positives than negative, and it was abundantly clear the men involved were fans of the match, of its rich history, and wanted to deliver a classic. They fell just a little short, but still etched their name in the history books with a performance that will set the bar for everyone to follow. I'm right there with MF, 4.5 to 4 3/4. I can't quite give it the 5, the ending especially. So, agreed. So we'll just leave it at that. So, it was definitely the fight of the night. It's definitely a match of the year contender, but I don't know if it will be at the end of the day. So, 4.5 to 4 3/4. Michael Bullock, Blood and Guts. Did it deliver in your eyes?
It did deliver in my eyes. I mean, 4.5 stars. I agree. It doesn't get the 5. I mean, yeah, it was slow at times, but man, I mean, we saw everything with the blood and the violence and all that. I mean, it was what it I mean, it really delivered, but man, oh man, I mean, MJF, you talk about a slimy little scumbag that he is. For him to win it the way he did by saying, "Oh, if you don't surrender, I'm throwing Jericho off the cage," and Sammy Guevara gave in, and then what is that little sleazeball does? He still pushes Jericho off anyway. I mean, serious. Exactly. And I'm going to say it here too. That MJF, and I don't care if I get in trouble for this, MJF is a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. I mean, one day he's going to get what's coming to him. When Jericho gets better, he's going to drop that little slime ball and he's going to get what's coming to him. My hatred for MJF just got to a new level, and I would have loved to see somebody throw MJF off and have him land on his damn head. Done, finished, Fletch, it's yours.
Overall review, Anthony Florio, what's yours?
Yeah, great show. I mean, the Blood and Guts definitely lived up to the hype. When you think about it, at the very end, I got to give this about 8.5 out of 10. Let me see what I have. The expectations were high, and AEW did not disappoint. While we won't go in on the main event much, we really found very little to dislike. I mean, Arn's presence in the opener was the only thing we could have done without. The tag match was a little underwhelming, but knowing who was going to take that one probably didn't help. I mean, it felt like a pay-per-view, and it's interesting to note that if anything, this is just a precursor to a pay-per-view, Double or Nothing. The thing I love about the somewhat themed Dynamite episodes is that they feel special, but they don't feel out of place. There's a reason why when Hager and Wardlow stand across two rings ready to lock horns, you get this overwhelming sense of fandom. And there is a distinct reason why you feel absolutely nothing when Tamina and Nia do the thing. One takes their time, not really ever forcing the issue, and really allows the audience to decide while the other assumes we want it and makes it happen every freaking week. But anyway, what an amazing show. Definitely go out of your way to see the Blood and Guts match. I mean, I know it's not going to be for everybody. I mean, MF even mentioned that there were some actually poo-pooing it, and but it was still fun to watch, and it did feel a little underwhelming, but it was built around one match, and it delivered for about the last 40 minutes of the show. On top of that, you had the four-way tag and some stuff set up for both the coming weeks and Double or Nothing. We had a very good time with this show. It felt like something special, which is the point of a show like this. And now it's time to get ready for Double or Nothing. But damn, they did a nice job of making this feel like an event on its own. And that's really all there is to say on that. So this is definitely a solid 8.5 out of 10 for me. No question about it. And if you thought tonight was good, look at next week. Moxley and Nagata, IWGP US title. Allen and Miro for the TNT Championship, and then that World Tag Team title match with the Young Bucks against SCU. So, yeah, Michael Bullock, if that doesn't get you excited for next week, I don't know what will. If you thought tonight was good, wail next week with those 3 huge title matches. 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's definitely going to get you excited for next week with those 3 big matches for Dynamite. So, yeah, 8.5 out of 10 is my rating. I mean, this was a good show, no doubt about it. I mean, to me, the Blood and Guts match lived up to it. So, yeah, I mean, everything else was good. I mean, there were some little lights, but other than that, it really delivered. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, let's put a bow on it.
All right, and tomorrow night is our very special Strictly Sports NFL Draft Special. We're going to be going team by team. We're going to break it down, guys. We're gonna give you everything we talked about this entire draft. We're going to give letter grades, how we feel about each team and what did they do. Well, we'll find out. So until then, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow.